So this is a brief introduction to the Crow in Flight tutorial, which is basically a bird flap cycle attached to a motion path and then with a set created. Here's an example of the kind of animation that can be done with this tutorial. So you can have a lot of fun with this. It's quite straightforward, quite simple. The only difficulty with it is that the rig that was used to create the tutorial is no longer available online, which means that if you're doing this tutorial, the best and simplest thing to do is to send me an email. You can reach me at alex@animationapprentice.org, or you can also find me at LinkedIn. Send me an email and I will send you a copy of the rig with the textures. The tutorial you can find here at the blog, 15th June 2023, and you can also, of course, try using other rigs for the tutorial other than the Crow rig. So let's just take a look at some of the options. Now actually there aren't that many great free bird rigs out there. If you go and search for free Maya bird rig, you'll see that not that many things come up. There are a few, but most of them not that great. The best one probably currently available is the red whiskerbird. This is actually created by Trong, and as with all of his rigs, it's very, very good. It's really nicely made. Now the only problem is this is a much smaller bird than a crow and would typically fly in a different way because the physics of small songbirds are different to the physics of medium-sized birds like crows and seagulls. However, it is currently the best option in terms of free rigs. There's also a really nice eagle out there. Here it is again at highend3d.com, the website that used to be known as Creative Crash, and you can download that for free and you can see it's got good reviews. But again, the problem for our purposes is that eagles are the physics of eagles in flight is again quite different from that of a crow and a seagull, because eagles are soaring birds. They don't actually flap that much. They tend to ride on big thermals and search for prey up in the sky. So again, it's not perfect for our purposes. You can also go to TurboSquid and search for crow and see what pops up. Now there are no, if we search by lower prices, we'll find some of the cheaper ones. But unfortunately none of them are free, and I can't speak for any of these rigs. I don't really know how good they are. Most of them don't actually have control curves, so none of these really I can recommend at this point. But do have a dig around. You might be able to find one that's good. Some of them are relatively inexpensive, but make sure you get one that actually has control curves on it, because some of them say that they're rigged, but they are only in a very, very limited sense, and they don't have control curves, and they might well be difficult to use. Also, when you're using TurboSquid, you do want to search by the correct format, which in this case would be Maya, because a rig that isn't a Maya rig won't do us much good. So, as I said, if you're following the tutorial, the best thing to do is just send me an email and I will send you a copy of the rig. It's a really nice little rig. It's very, very low poly, but once you've got it flying in the sky and you've turned on motion blur, it's not going to cause you any problems. And in addition to that, because it's so low poly, you can import multiple versions of the crow into your shot and it won't slow down Maya at all.